beautiful people. Welcome back to the Esty Besties podcast.
Hello, hello.
This is Miranda.
And this is Bryn.
And this is episode 5. I know, it's so exciting. It's always so fun. Today's topic is going to be about fulfilling our dreams and avoiding burnout.
It's very prevalent right now, definitely, with the winter season.
Absolutely.
I feel like burnout is always going to be an important thing to talk about, but definitely in these winter months for any of our people who have anyone who lives in the 4 seasons, basically.
Yeah.
Anyone who has the seasonal
You
state.
go through the motions.
So a little bit of the science behind it. There is actually a name for it. It is called seasonal affective disorder, and the letters are sad.
Scientific.
It's literally, the letters are SAD, which is really ironic. It's
Oh my
sad.
God.
I know, but it is called seasonal affective disorder, and it can look a lot like depressive episodes. Mainly, honestly, looks like hibernation for the most part, which is
that makes
interesting. The
sense.
parallels between animals and humans are always very
Yeah.
prevalent. So it can look a lot like hibernation for some people. So technically, if we're going by like the natural timing, winter is a time for hibernation, healing, stocking up energy for the springtime, really getting all of your stuff together, but not necessarily bringing it to fruition yet.
We're just like squirrels hiding our nuts.
Literally, squirrels hiding our nuts.
Mammals.
Actually, though. So January is really not supposed to be the time for renewal like we think it is. It's really supposed to be the time for maybe analyzation, whereas springtime is really going to be your time for new beginnings and your time for really getting the ball rolling with those ideas. January is like rest, relax, prep,
That makes
store
so much
energy,
sense.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
But due to New Year's and New Year's Eve, obviously we're so societally
New
mixed
year,
into
new
like,
me.
yeah, exactly, which was our first episode. If you haven't listened, go
Tune
tune
into
in.
episode 1.
So yeah, like it's just like with your circadian rhythm, we're not even supposed to be technically doing all this stuff in the winter anyways.
Right.
So it's pretty interesting.
Love to know that.
Yes.
So I can stay in bed every day.
Exactly.
That's what I'm hearing.
Exactly. You have an excuse now. You're just a little
lazy
bear.
days.
Exactly.
A little bear.
That's where we wanted to start, was just giving you guys a little scientific background of it. And then the rest of this episode, we're going to go into some tips, not only on navigating winter blues, but also on avoiding burnout more, I should say.
Yeah, and how to get through it, how to get out of it.
How to get through it, how to get out of it. Because when you're in it, you really don't feel like you can.
It's that funk. You
Yeah,
have to really
yeah.
force yourself. But
Totally.
I'm excited about all the topics we have to talk about today.
I
A lot of good
know.
value. So like I've said before, get your notebook out, get your pen, take some notes, and grab your coffee or your wine, depending on the time of day that you're listening to this.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right. So we are going to get into a separation of home and work, because I feel like that's where a lot of burnout comes from. And it's important to separate your habits, really making your home somewhere where you can decompress, especially for people who work from home. I feel like it's so hard to do that, like turning your brain on and off.
Because you don't have that separation of location.
Exactly.
For us, it's like, okay, we come to work.
Come into work,
you
we're work
leave.
mode.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But for some people, it's a constant when you work from home.
Yeah,
or,
for
I mean,
sure.
technically when you're like us, you are doing both, because we really never stop
Yeah,
working.
yeah,
but
we work
you know
from
what I
home
mean.
too, but you know.
People that like have an actual home office and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like
change
this
of
hits them hard.
environment.
Yeah. So when you get home from work, it's really important to be able to like fully shut your brain off. Obviously, if you have little tasks to do, go ahead and crank those out as soon as you get home, or delegate them for the following morning. Wake up a little earlier. I found that that's been really helpful for me. Like if I am feeling super exhausted, some nights it's great to crank it out at night and then you're like done. You don't have to think about it. But sometimes you have to have the grace with yourself to be like, I am really freaking tired. I'm just going to go to bed and wake up a little earlier.
I feel like it depends if you're somebody who has the energy to work in the evening or if you're a morning person.
Okay,
that's important to distinguish
that's
too.
So important, because some people it's really just like how you naturally
Right.
are. It's your circadian rhythm. It's the flow of your body. There's like certain terms for it that we can get into later, but it's like you're either someone who thrives in the morning and you have all your energy in the morning and then it dwindles over time and then by nighttime you're whatever, or you have, I'm sure you know a ton of people who like, they're just night owls. They want to stay up all night. They want to work. They want to get it all done.
I feel like we're opposites. You're the morning person. I'm the night owl.
Yeah, but it works.
It does. It does. Yeah. So we can talk a little bit about how we personally separate our work life from our home life. So I personally I'm a night owl, so I like to crank things out during the night. I like to spend my morning sleeping in and just getting myself ready for work. So normally after my work day, I'll come home and I will still decompress, even though I have computer work to get out of the way. I will get in the shower, get into some cute, comfy pajamas, light some candles. I'll have something to eat. I'll put on a show to play in the background, and I'll sit down with my laptop. And even though I'm still working and my brain is still in motion, my body is physically resting. And that's the first step I take to really getting a good night's sleep, too. And then I turn off my brain after I'm finished all of my computer work. Sometimes I'll read. I've been getting into the habit of journaling and just kind of brain dumping, which is something else we'll kind of get into a little bit later in the episode. But I like to do that to reset and just to kind of calm down my brain. And to help me go to sleep, I actually have this habit of playing my day like like camera reels.
Yeah.
So I'll like in my brain, I'll like play my day like on a reel. Like I'll literally picture myself sitting in like a chair in like a dark room, and then like a reel just goes by.
Almost like a movie theater.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then the reel will come to an end, and then that's like my sign, like my brain's like, okay, sleep mode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I started
that.
I started that like 5 years ago.
I love that. That's like you're using the visual aspect of, and also that's a brain dump, whether you know it is or not. Like whether you're consciously doing it or not, that's a brain dump of you getting it all out. Because think about us girls with anxiety, we tend to like hold on to a lot of the things that happen throughout our day and like overthink about them. Whether it was something we said with a client, something we texted someone, like we get really worked up over, did I say something weird? Like, I'm sure you guys can all relate to that.
For us anxiety girlies.
Yeah. So doing that and visually letting yourself go through your day and just process it. And then when that reel closes, you're ready for sleep.
You're over it.
You're like, oh, I don't even care anymore. I already watched the reel.
Exactly.
I love that. That's a really cool thing.
Thanks. Do you want to kind of go over what you do to kind of decompress after work?
Yes. So I'm someone who really, really finds like the importance in my decompressing and in my home, just like home life, home self. I take it super seriously as far as like keeping my peace at home. So mine's really about kind of like setting the vibe. When I go to journal at night, when I go to meditate at night, when I go to read my book at night, like I'm gonna put on either the frequency music or the light like ambient music, no lyrics. Yes. Like I'm gonna put it on in the background, have it playing, whether it's on my TV, whatever. I'm gonna set all my lights on, like lamps, like accent lights, not like overhead lights. We don't do overhead lights. Whether it's the couch, bed, or I have like a little reading nook, I'll chill there and I try to either read, journal, something to do with like writing or reading every night just to get my brain stimulated. But at the same time, it slows me down. So it's like a little bit of both. And
just
I've been
off the phone.
Yeah, try to get off my phone. Honestly, I hate being on my phone. I definitely feel like my anxiety just increases when I'm on my phone. So I try my best to stay off of it, especially at night. Like when I get home, it's just really hard sometimes when you are spending all day in our career, we're spending all day talking. And not only talking, but we're spending all day making sure that our energy is right for other people. So we're making sure we're on it, we're happy, we have a good mentality, and we're not putting any of our issues in our personal life onto our clients. So that in itself can be a little exhausting. So having that nighttime routine and that safe space at home where it's just like quiet, it's peaceful, and you have control over it is really so important.
Doing everything with intention too. So you can start incorporating these habits into your night routine to decompress from work, but you have to do it with the intention of decompressing, relaxing, slowing down your brain, slowing down your body. And that's really how you can hit that reset button when you go to bed.
Anyone can light a candle, right? Anyone can write in their journal about their day. Anyone can try a guided meditation, but like she's saying, your intention behind it. So when you're lighting that candle, really saying in your head or out loud, whatever you're comfortable with, being like, I'm so thankful for my space. I'm so thankful that I have this ability to create this like peaceful space for myself. Light that candle with that intention of being thankful and giving thanks to your space for allowing you to have that time to decompress. Because think about how many people do not, because of their circumstances, are not able to have that safe space at home. Just give your thanks back to your space. Like, thank you for allowing me to be safe. Thank you for allowing me to decompress. Thank you for allowing me to explore my brain and brain dump and do these things in like a peaceful environment. You got to give your love back.
Yes, absolutely. And the rituals that we're kind of going over has a lot of relation to romanticizing our environment, our habits. I love romanticizing has been literally my word for the past year because I'm somebody who thrives off of my environment. And if it's something that I look forward to that just feels lovely, it feels just like me, because romanticizing has a lot of different definitions.
Yeah, I think it's different like per person too.
Right,
like what might be romantic to you is not necessarily romantic to someone else.
Yeah.
But the word romantic, it's not in like a love relationship word. We're not using it in that way. We're using it in like the term of romanticizing the experience of your life altogether.
It's that's all I can think like of. Like it's a vibe for you. Yeah, it's your own personal vibe.
So true. And like you are the only one that's gonna know what's genuinely gonna satisfy your romantic desires in that way. So like we said, for us it might be lighting candles, journaling, meditating, whatever, but you know, finding what works for you.
For others it might be a quick little workout. You might do some yoga. You might be writing or doing like a DIY or a craft. Yeah.
For someone, it might be finally getting an hour to watch TV. Like some people don't have the ability to watch TV or do those like brain numbing activities. So for some people that might be romanticizing your life. That might be, you know, recharging you or whatever the case may be. But finding out what is going to work for you.
Or a snack.
Ooh.
Snacks are important.
I'm definitely a snack girl. Every night I walk up to I waddle up to my bed with my snacks. That's another one of the things that I look forward to.
Yeah.
Something we should add in there is practices to fall asleep, like to actually fall asleep.
Yeah.
So you gave your really good tip of like visualizing the reel.
Yes.
I personally, like, I'm just out. By the time I'm ready to go to sleep, I'm like just out. I don't know. I do not have a hard time falling asleep, thankfully. Probably because I do all these practices.
Yeah, you have your ritual, and it kind of you're taking your body through the process of relaxing, and by the time you're ready to go to bed, you're out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing. That's the goal, man. That's the goal.
So meditation, Headspace is a really good app for guided meditation. There's also so many like free resources on YouTube and stuff where you can find guided meditations at this point. I don't necessarily prefer guided or non-guided meditation. In the beginning, I was straight guided meditation because I didn't know what I was doing. But now I prefer sometimes just like ambient music, just like letting yourself meditate just with the peace and silence.
Yeah.
Journaling. So whether that be brain dumping, whether that be manifesting, whether that be writing what you're thankful for, like whatever journaling is for you, that helps overall to help literally just dump your brain out and not have everything kind of all jumbled up. Reading, romanticizing the experience. And then lastly is something that we do in a few different areas of our life. So what you do is you are going to pick a tool or an item that you have around your house. Let's just stick to house specifically. We can talk about work, your work tool in a different episode. Yeah. But for this episode, we're going to talk about charging an item for house use. So you're going to take a little bit of like a magical element to life in this perception that we're talking about. So you're going to pick an item, whether it be a pair of sneakers, a pair of blue light glasses, a hat, a special t-shirt, whatever
Slippers.
It is. It can be absolutely anything. But you're going to take that item and you're going to magically charge it with your brain. You're going to magically charge it with the energy that you need in order to get what you're going to get done in your house. So whether it be cleaning, organizing, working on stuff in the house, like doing crafts, whatever, have a specific magical tool for that task. And it like totally changes the game. As soon as what I'll do is like a certain pair of slippers at home. As soon as I put those slippers on, I'm like, oh, it's clean mode. Like now I got to start cleaning. Ooh. And it just like twists your brain into thinking that
it's symbolism.
It's literally symbolism.
Yeah.
I actually found out about this from it was like an ADD recommendation for people with ADD. It said to put sneakers on when you need to clean the house because like just that
it's movement.
Just like putting sneakers on flicks like a switch in your brain, knowing like you are either going to work out or do something active.
Right.
So if you put sneakers on, obviously clean. If you're cleaning the house, you want clean sneakers. But if you're cleaning the house, put those sneakers on. Your brain is just automatically going to be like, oh, I have to do something.
Right.
So charging items for specific tasks, it can not only be like fun and just a way to like make life cute, but it's super effective, I've found.
It is. My favorite is the blue light glasses. So I have my favorite pair of like cheetah print blue light glasses from Amazon. I put them on when I'm ready to do computer work at home because I am still going through the motions of separating my relaxation and my work mode from my house. When I put the blue light glasses on, I know that, okay, I'm on my computer for the next hour or so, busting out emails, content, editing, all of that. And as soon as the glasses come off, I know that it's time for me to start my decompression.
Love it. That's just a little hack, a little tip.
Little hack.
Okay, so next we're going to talk about multitasking, time management, and how to shift your mindset so that you're not putting too much energy into the wrong things when you have energy that you should be putting into things that are actually going to effectively, you know, get it done.
Getting your priorities.
Yeah, priorities. So one of the main things with multitasking, time management that I've learned recently is just because you can doesn't necessarily always mean you should. So I think women tend to get into the habit of just doing things because they know they can, and if they don't get them done, no one else is going to do it. So a lot of the times we take on too much role.
It's personal.
Yeah. So it can be exhausting, first of all. But second of all, being able to tell someone, being able to have people around you and you can even just one task delegate to them, even just one thing, like
Get one thing off your plate.
if you have a partner saying, hey babe, do you think, you know, you could switch the laundry over for me? It's really going to help me out when I get home from work, not be as stressed. It's something that might be super easy for them, but they might not have not thought about it.
Right.
So just being able to like ask for help, essentially.
Yeah, not being afraid to ask for help.
It's huge.
That's
and
a big
it's hard.
theme, especially for women.
I was going to say, especially for women, especially for young women, I would say, because it's like we're just
We're so
used
focused
to,
on being independent and doing things ourselves in our way.
because we're trying to almost prove ourselves. Like we're in this like young woman mindset
It's
where
the
we're like,
era
oh,
we're
we want to
in.
like prove ourselves that we're independent. We don't need anyone. We can do this by ourselves. But then it's like, at the end of the day, we're sitting looking at everything and we're like, wow, it's not even fun to do it all yourself.
Yeah,
like
it's overwhelming.
why am I begging for this? Like,
Right.
I don't want to be super independent. I want some help. So yeah, just because you can doesn't always mean you should. So knowing where to delegate those tasks to and where to ask for help when needed, I think is super important. And just because you're super capable doesn't mean you have to stress yourself out all the time.
Yes, and this is extremely relevant to avoiding burnout and also getting out of it, because having to multitask and do all of these things, especially if you're on a time crunch with these tasks while you're burnt out, is a horrible feeling. Like, it is so bad. So when you're in that state, do not be afraid to ask for help. And I'm really proud of Bryn because I feel like she's gotten a lot better with giving me, the manager of her shop, duties.
So hard, honestly.
I
Not
know,
because
I
it's
know.
you. And I need to clarify that. You could have the person that is like the most capable, but
You still just want to do it
sometimes
yourself.
I'm just a control freak. So
Yeah.
like especially when
I
it comes to
feel-
business. So it's hard to delegate that, but again, finding those people, like
Right.
I trust Miranda with everything. So it's like finding those people is so important.
It is.
Like I can trust her to have the key to the shop and open it up, and like my whole team, it's like, that's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
we're
so
your
hard.
people.
My people.
We definitely, and we take pride in like taking things off of your plate.
And I think
Because-
that's something that's hard for me to like understand, because I'm like, I always like think when you ask for help, people
It's like
are
a
like
hindrance.
annoyed. Yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, this bitch is asking me to do
Right.
this again. Like, and some people, don't get me wrong, some people have that mentality.
Right.
But like, you guys don't. There's certain people that don't, and they like to.
It's
be
because we
needed. They
love it
like to
here
help.
and we
Yeah.
love you.
Aw.
Love it.
So yes, asking for help, building your team, whether it's friends and family or your work team, just making sure you have that support system around you, and that they're recognizing that you're stressed out too, and they're recognizing when you're starting to be burnt out. And those people that love you, they should be able to pick up on those patterns,
Right.
and be able to acknowledge, oh, let me help her a little bit extra in this week,
Yeah.
this month, this day. even.
Yes, yeah. And besides asking for help from physical people when it comes to your tasks and projects, Bryn, do you want to kind of dabble on some of the electronic tools that you use to help keep yourself organized and on point?
Yeah. I love using tools and resources for help and to make your life easier. Nowadays, there is so many good options out there for stuff that you can literally pay, whether it's free every month or you can pay $10 a month, whatever, and you're really getting good benefits out of it. So our number one thing that we used for business is definitely Canva. We love Canva for all of our marketing things. I even use Canva for, making like cute little affirmations. I did that for like my 2023 personal bingo card. Like you can use it for your own self stuff, but overall, kind of would recommend anyone to get Canva, even if you're just like want to play around with cute stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of tools in Canva. It's not just creating like images and graphics. There's a lot of really cool organization tools in there. And also like, making cute little personal stuff too. Yeah. I made a lot of quotes on Canva and I put them on my vision board this year.
Yeah.
And it's just like visually appealing,
Yeah.
And I made
personal.
it. So it's
yeah,
like,
exactly. And you took the time to write it out, to type it out,
to
edit it, to do all that stuff. So that's another in-depth version of manifestation is like actually doing the work. Another tool that I really like, Google Drive. Google Drive is everything.
Especially for a business owner.
I think just being able to have it all in the cloud, you never have to worry about it disappearing. For the most part, we've had that before. Everything is there, so you can work on any remote computer and get access to any of your documents. You get a mix of all things combined, so you get like Microsoft Word, essentially. You get Excel, you get PowerPoint.
Yeah, it has it all,
and it's free. So
yeah, that's awesome, and it's amazing because if you have a team of people working on the same project on Google Drive, you can share it, so any of them can access that document at any time,
and you can see their history of who did what,
who edited what. Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
So definitely recommend Google Drive. Another is what we use literally every day of our life is the Notes app.
Yes.
On the iPhone. It is the best